Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast, Simple Man Wrestling Podcast. We're here with Brett Sanchez. Brett Sanchez is the head coach at Clackamas University. Brett, welcome to the show, man. Good to have you on.
Thank you so much, man. I'm excited to be here.
So Brett, let's get this out of the way. So we talked a little bit about before we started rolling, but what's your relationship with Sean? And just to talk about the timeline a little bit, just where you came, you graduated college to coaching this sorry son of a gun right here.
Yeah, man.
Throw me under.
Yeah, man. So I graduated from Grand Canyon University 2013, and we hosted a little wrestling camp over there when a bunch of teams came by. It was a dual tournament, and I got into contact with the Granite Hills wrestling coach and the modern day head wrestling coach, Scott Olsberger. And I knew I was moving down to San Diego. At the time, I had a little baby girlfriend that I was kind of going down there with. But I just talked to the couple of these coaches and said, hey, I'm about to move down. I'm super, in on coaching. You guys won't regret it. Just, give me an opportunity, give me a chance. And some things led to another. And then the modern day coach came through. And I remember talking to him the first time. He's like, hey, I actually have a guy who I think that you could really help out. And he's a senior this year. He's been working his butt off. And I think you guys will do really well together. So got to meet Sean on day one. And I remember just like the first team meeting. I don't know if you remember, Sean. I introduced myself, kind of like said like what I've done, what high school, and like my goals and my plans, coaching. And you could tell like nobody else on the team knew what the hell I was talking about except for Sean. You know what I mean? It's like I went to Clovis High, and I went to this school, became a couple-time All-American, blah, blah, blah. And like there's probably like 15 other kids that probably never wrestled their entire life and didn't even know what the heck I was talking. So I remember after practice, Sean was, we were chopping it up, talking about it. And, we just hit it off. He was my first love, honestly. I came into the coaching world and I had one guy who was, eating, breathing, and whatever I was saying, and that's what you want as a coach, right? So you could tell like he had the trust in me, the respect, and I had the same thing for him too. So I really did believe that, we can make history together. And we did, first CIF champion for modern day, first time modern day Masters finalist as well. Going to the state tournament, winning a couple matches over there too, and went to the Dock B. Just started put modern day and the wrestling club that I started, UTB, on the map, So this guy, I'm super proud of him, and I know he got to wrestle the next level. And, now he's giving back to the sport that gave him so much. And I love this guy very much. I'm super excited for him. And I love watching him grow, honestly.
Sean, when you first met Brett Sanchez, like what kind of draw you to him? Like, was it something that you felt like you were kind of bought in on what he was saying right away? Or is it something that you kind of like once he kind of got your trust, kind of led to obviously wrestling for him and developing and buying it?
I think a lot of it was because I started wrestling at such a I was a late bloomer. I started wrestling freshman year of high school. And I loved my coaches that I had at the time, but they were guys who didn't wrestle in college, guys who hadn't seen a national tournament, guys who hadn't been under a big light or at the biggest of stages. And so going through my career, it took me a little bit longer to learn, right? Didn't start really picking things up until junior year. And a lot of it was traveling to other rooms, right? Wrestling and, with other teams in the off season, all that good stuff. We had a small team and then very inexperienced team, not a lot of kids who wrestled year round. Not a lot of kids who wrestled, made it through the season. So I think when Brett came in, it was just like, man, I have a freaking coach now who has done it all, has seen the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, knows the sport in and out. And I can finally really pick this guy's brain to, the amount that's going to make me better and get what I need out of it. Cause I remember I would go to church house wrestling camps and all that cool stuff. And I would come back and I would learn moves that were solid moves, not like your junk and garbage, but I would learn solid moves that my coaches at the time during my earlier years weren't ready to show the team or ready to show everyone, just because they weren't there. And so I finally had someone who knew a lot more than me, knew how to really just take me and mold me and sharpen me. And we worked a lot together. There was a lot of privates, there was a lot of individual workouts. I mean, he was my live partner pretty much every day. But I trusted him. He was younger, so I think that helped just because I'm a younger coach now, and you are too, Bryan. So I think kids connect with us sometimes easier, like brothers. So I think that definitely helped. And then we just hit it off. Personality wise, it worked. I don't think I ever like talked back or gave you disrespect. I think I was like, I'll do whatever Brett says, and that's just what it's gonna be. I don't care, I'd run through a wall. It wouldn't matter. So, and it worked out. Got me into where I ended up going.
Do it all over again, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish we had one more year.
I know, man. One more.
It was fun though. We had a good time, and then I'd come back from college on breaks and try to take him down and get my butt kicked. And
I'm glad you brought that up.
To this day, I still swear I will get one though.
Wait, so Brett, he never got a takedown on you at all? Never?
No. He'd come in and get close, get on the legs, and I would kind of just big brother him still, you know what I mean? And finesse my way, scramble out of it a little bit. And you could kind of see like the frustration too, because, you get on somebody's legs, you get close to finishing, and then they just kind of do something to you to counter it. And you know how frustrated, we all got during that time. So
yeah, old man tricks.
Yeah.
So he had weight and size on me too.
Yeah, to be fair, you were an 84-pounder in college.
Yeah, but
how much were you rolling around with? You're coaching
2 bills plus.
You're cap, dude. That's cap. So Bryan, my first 3 years at UTV down in San Diego, I was still competing and wrestling every single day. I was probably walking around 82, 83-ish. I was a small 84-pounder already, so I know that's he's capping right there.
Oh, he's right. He's capping.
And when he graduated, I was probably 200, but I was walking around 82 between 90 for sure. Which is still bigger, but.
Well, because I remember you were going to wrestle at the U.S. Open one summer, and you were getting ready for that, and
I couldn't make the weight.
Yeah, you were training your butt off.
I couldn't make it. I couldn't.
What were you trying to make? I can't remember.
It was 70. It was one. I can't think of the kilos, but it was like 163.
Yeah,
it was when they didn't have that second weight, like 80.
They didn't have 79 yet.
Yeah, they didn't. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna wrestle freaking the bigger cats, you know what I mean? So I tried. I got down to like 73, and I couldn't do it, man. And it bugs me a little bit, but it is what it is. I wrestled the little California freestyle state tournament open, and
Bryan just did that.
Did you, Bryan?
Well, no, I did the folk style one. I'm not gonna do the freestyle one.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But
folk style state champ though.
Yeah, nice, dude. Nice.
I mean, that was by accident though. I feel like I have to explain it because here's the thing. Like I feel like all of us can agree. Like you're never gonna want to stop like wanting to compete. I think there's certain limitations with our bodies, like shoulders and knees and back and neck and stuff like that. But I think that competitive drive is always kind of be there. It's not what I did it. My coaching, so it was like a quick turnaround after the state tournament. I had to get my background check, and I just started too late, and it just wasn't going to process in time. And then they posted something on Instagram that said just free registrations for open. I'm like, dude, I'll just do that. I'll get on the floor. And then a parent found out and then told other parents. And I just basically was like, all right, I'll go wrestle. It's fine.
That's what's up, man. How'd it go?
I didn't really wrestle anybody.
He teched everyone.
The guy, I'll just say this, the guy I wrestled in the finals pretended to faint because he was so tired. Literally, like I touched him, he backed out, froze, and fell over.
No way.
No, like legit.
That's not even fun, legit. Huh?
I was just mad. I'm like, dude, like,
yeah, that's not fun.
I'm tired. Like, this is my third match of the day. I'm tired.
Right.
Like, let's just finish so I can, get out of here.
Yeah.
Give me my bear. Let me get out of here. But so I guess my question with you competing, was that something that you had kind of planned long term, or was it something that like you just felt kind of that itch and just wanted to go compete?
It was something I did want to do. Like when I was in college, I had like aspirations of still trying to wrestle the next level after, and I wanted to get in the MMA game too. Like, I loved competing, and my thing was like, if I'm going to do something after college and try to make money. It's something I'm going to do that I love, and that's competing, right? So I had that drive. I wanted to do that. I either wanted to make the U.S. team. I wanted to make, if I couldn't do that, I was down to do the Mexico team. I had like a grandfather who was born there. So I was like looking at all the different avenues, you know, and I wanted to fight and I wanted to coach. So like I had like I was wrestling high school kids to try to get myself peak and ready, right? And still trying to give them everything I had to prepare them. I would go after practice, go to MMA gym and try to train, do jiu-jitsu, boxing and all that. And then come back and do my club practice at nighttime. Like I was going like 12 hours a day of just trying, you know, coach, train, fight, you know what I mean? And it got a little hard on me. You know, I was living down in San Diego, and I ended up just kind of picking what I was loving a little bit more. And that was the coaching game. Cause I started like having guys like Sean, and I had other guys started trickling and started, you know, looking at me and trusting me and everything like that. And they had big goals, and I kind of was starting to steer towards them a little bit more, you know? So, yeah, man, that itch kind of went away a little bit. Unfortunately, I still kind of have it. I still get to wrestle with these college guys. That kind of gives me, you know, the little edge that I want, you know, but, yeah, man. I think a lot of it too is just like the way I finished my junior, senior in college, like, didn't accomplish what I wanted. So I felt like just that I have to prove to not people, but myself, you know, and, you know, now that I have a family and I'm coaching and had my guys run through my program and wrestle the next level, get their school paid for, get degrees, become husbands, like all that little stuff that I was missing inside is like definitely carrying over because of seeing my guys doing what they're doing now.
Yeah. Would you say that like, I mean, you kind of just answered it, but you know, not getting what you wanted at the end of your collegiate career, do you feel like just doing what you're doing now and helping other people reach their goals, that kind of, like you said, it kind of fills that void a little bit?
It does 100%, man. And I tell my guys that, man, like, as coaches, we always try to encourage our guys to be better than what we were, right? As a wrestler, as just a human being too, you know? So, you know, having my guys have those aspirations and that drive, like I'm going to do everything I can in my body and my soul to give them what I can, technically, mentally, physically, experience wise, to help them achieve that. And when they do, man, it does fill that void. Like you said earlier, like for example, I mean, Mateo almost coached him in high school, and you know, he obviously had a rough year, but went to Oregon State and was a 4-year starter for them, and he made it to the national championship this year, you know. And like, as a coach, you know, when you're coming in just graduating college, like that's exactly why you go 7 days a week. That's exactly why you go year round and have those type of guys like Sean, Mateo, Euro Berenstein, and so many other people kind of buy into what we're doing. And you spew like, this is what we're going for. This is the big picture. This is the big picture. And just seeing him do that. And that was my first time going to the national championships too, to watch my guy. And dude, I got a little teary-eyed just watching him out there, because it's like something I wanted to do, right? But I saw one of my guys doing it, man. I'm getting the chills right now just explaining it. But yeah, man, that definitely fills the void. 100%.
We've talked about this on a previous podcast episode, Bryan and I, and because Bryan has Miguel Estrada,
yeah,
and I have Colin Guffey, and we both got other hammers too. But we just kind of talked about, like, obviously those are two kids that are going to the next level, have big aspirations, want to be on the biggest stage, and all their accomplishments now. Bryan, you know, had his 2 state titles with Miguel and potentially a 3rd next year, and all those highs, right? Going to the national tournament and watching your athlete wrestle for another coach on those mats down there has got to hands down beat anything that you might have coached in high school, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. I just think, like, me going and watching any of my kids, Abram Klein's going to Maryland, if he's wrestling at the national tournament, I'm just going to be like, this is the greatest thing this is cooler than him winning a state title.
Yeah, man. Yep. Have yourself sit refreshment, have some popcorn, and just like sit there. And you don't even, like, obviously you want them to All-American, you want to get but it's like, dude, like this is it, dude. You have an opportunity to wrestle right now against the best dudes in America, and you know, go out there, let it rip, and we'll see what happens. You know, right. No doubt.
Yeah, that would be a pretty awesome experience. I look forward to it. I'm a couple years away. I think Bryan is too, but I think Maybe we'll be there the same year, Bryan, and we can share this moment together. Maybe we'll podcast from the national tournament, from the
Look at
hotel.
that.
Look at
Ooh.
that. We're coming up with
You guys are good at this, man. No wonder you guys are striving, dude.
We're getting there. We're trying to figure it out.
I think we got like 5 subscribers now. We're getting there.
Hey, that's the whole thing, man. Fake it till you make it, dude.
That's
Fake
true.
it till you make it.
Well, I think a big part of doing anything and being great at anything, really, it's like, you have to be consistent. And I think for some of us, that's hard, right? Because, I mean, there's always something that happens. Like, there's always reasons to not do something, whether it's like, you have kids, or, you're getting ready to get married, or, you got your own coaching stuff going, or you got, something else that's going on in your life. For you, Brett, how do you kind of balance all that stuff? Because you have just one kid?
Yeah, I have one. Spoiler alert, I got a second one coming now too.
No.
You guys heard it before we posted it. We're about to post it this week. And
Juice of the week.
Juice of the week right there. I knew it was gonna come up. But yeah, man, I got a son. His name's Noah Jet. He just turned 2, and I got a little baby girl coming in November, of course, like right when college season starts and the competition and everything like that. And kind of going off of that question right there, like, so when I was single, I was single after college, like for 5 years, so like guys like Sean, other wrestlers, they were my girlfriend, you know what I mean? So it was like, I spent time with them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But
we were getting dinner.
We trained.
We're not within the statute of limitations. So.
Yeah. We text each other. We train, but honestly, just like the first 5 years, like my life was committed to modern day Catholic and UTB wrestling 100%. And I think everybody that came through my program will attest to that. And once, I got engaged in 2018, started having that going. And when I was talking to my wife, just telling her like, what I'm passionate about. And she was seeing me, she was following me on social media. I was always posting everything about these guys every single week. Right. Basically, and she came down and saw the development too. So she saw me run practices at Modern Day. She saw me run UTB practice. She saw me do private. She saw just like everything that we built over there. And I pretty much told her like, hey, this is my life. This is what I'm going to do for the long haul. And if you want to be a part of what I'm doing, like, this is it, so she, God willing, accepted it. And, we keep it a wrestling environment relationship with my program. Like, so even right now, I'm the head coach at Clackamas, and my academic head wrestling coach is my wife, Mrs. Sanchez. So we run study hall. She runs those study hall practices and gets these guys lined up academically. So it's definitely a relationship that we have, that we're built in together and committed to it. So it does make it a little harder with the little guy coming. The little guy here and the little one coming now. But we make it work. She goes and runs study hall. I take the little guy. We go in the wrestling room. We wrestle each other. I make recruiting phone calls. So we're definitely adjusting our life to this program. And it's gonna be worth it, man. Seeing these guys graduate and move on to the next level.
I love it.
That's awesome. Did you guys get engaged when you were in San Diego, or was it after you went to Clackamas?
San Diego. Yeah.
So she made the move with you too.
She did, man. She did. So I was down there, San Diego, doing my thing. And then she was living in Vegas at the time. And we reconnected and started talking, started dating. And I want to say like 2 years later, I asked her to marry me. And from there, we got married. And then we actually moved to Clovis because we thought Clovis was going to be like the destination. I was going to coach at that high school, give back to my alma mater, got a job lined up and everything like that. Like, I thought that was it. And then Coach Road Dogg kind of threw a curveball at me and, offered me something that benefited me and benefited my wife. So, and I always wanted to coach at the college level too. So now we're here, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So talk about your relationship with Road Dogg for a sec, because we had him last time, and I'm not gonna. So Sean, you heard it. Like, I told him that story of our first interaction with him. Mm-hmm. We both kind of thought he was a douchebag, But
Right.
frankly, just talking to him, dude, I freaking love him. Like
Yeah,
he's the man, and it seems like
Super
he's a
cool.
really fun personality and he's very knowledgeable. And I might not coach exactly like that, but I really appreciate how he coaches. He just coaches his guys so hard. Maybe talk about your experiences with him. You know, why you went to Clackamas first, and then what kind of that thing that kind of brought you back.
Yeah, man. So check it out. So when I was in high school, I wasn't the best student. I kind of procrastinated a lot, was just skating by with like a 2.0. And I think a lot of it was just kind of like my status. I was a football player, wrestler, baseball player. So kind of like teachers kind of just like let me slide through, unfortunately. Hopefully, people don't hear that, but they did. They did. So coming out of high school, man, like I really thought I was going to be able to go to a 4-year school just with my accolades. And I thought, I was going to get picked up by somebody, and going to let me to get in, to the university, but didn't happen, man. Got shot down by D1, D2s, and even the NAIs. And NAIs, bro, like if you can't get into NAIs, like you're, then you definitely are on the bottom of the list academically. So had to go the junior college route, and I was looking into all the big schools like North Idaho, Iowa Central, and then I actually wrestled in the Oregon California duel. Are you guys familiar with the Oregon California duel? It's like
Do they still have that?
I don't think so.
I think they might actually. It's been like 2 or 3 years since I've talked to the guy who ran it, but it's like the best seniors of Oregon versus the best seniors of California, and they go off like who placed the highest, and if you say yes, you're in. If you don't say yes, then they go to the next highest place. So that was a senior. So I got to wrestle in that, and we wrestled at Southern Oregon University, and that's where I met Roden. And I wrestled, had a good match, beat my guy. I remember after the match, I sat on the wall in the gym, took my straps down, just slowing my breathing down. And I see this guy, walking up to me, and he gives me like a little head nod and this big old smile. And he was a young cat too. I think he was maybe like 27, 28 when he coached me. And, I just like, just that smile and his facial expression, just like, it connected with me, because I'm the same way. I'm a guy that's smiling and try to have that same type of feel with you too as well. So we talked, and I had no idea what the NJCA was. Had no idea. I thought it was like the California JUCO circuits for every state, right? I thought it was like that. And when he was telling me, I was like, dude, why? I mean, thanks, coach, but why would I go to Oregon and wrestle for a state tournament over there when I could do it over here? He's like, no, man, this is the NJCA. Like, we get scholarships, we wrestle for national championships. This is a whole shebang. And I was like, what? And we scheduled a phone call, and dude, I'm not joking, we talked for 2 hours, no doubt, on the phone. Like, I asked him every single thing about him. Wanted to get to know him, because I'm like that. I want to get to know who the guy I'm about to wrestle with and to do something with. He asked everything about me. I asked him everything about Clackamas and the NJCA, and it was just, I remember just looking at the phone, dude, and I was like, dude, we've been on it for 2 hours. It's 9:30 already. You know what I mean? And so one thing led to another. He scheduled me out for a recruiting visit, came out here, and just seeing him in person, just like the type of guy he is, you could feel his energy, right? And I think he probably explained it to you guys too. Like, his accolades aren't the best, right? Like, he never placed at the Oregon State Championships, never All-American in college, but at the same time, just the way he presented himself, like he had everything figured out, right? So I love that about him. I was down to run through a wall for him, and just his heart and his genuine, for all the student athletes. And I felt that, just when I saw him, just a simple things like, hey, Brett, how's it going? How's the apartment going? How's this going? How's mom and dad doing? Like making me just feel like he cared about me. You know what I mean? And, for us during that time, we're a young man, leaving home, you kind of miss those type of conversations, right? Yeah. So I had those conversations with him. It made me feel like home, made me feel loved, made me feel appreciated, to the fact where I was like, hey, I'm going to win for you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're not showing technique or not. I'm gonna win this for you, no doubt. So we had a really good connection. I think we hit it off really well. And when he brought me back to coach here, the plan was, for me to learn from him more and more how to run a college wrestling program. And plus, dude, I loved him. You know what I mean? So it was like me being with my big brother again. And just having a good time, dude, and giving back to the sport of wrestling and doing it at a place that we both really love, So I love that man to death, dude. I know a lot of guys that came to this program feel the same way. And just like you said, you think he's kind of a D-bag when you're against him, because it's like that, man. Like there's times where, I'm coaching next to him, and he's like letting this ref hear it, you know what I mean? I'm like, chill, road dog, hey, like calm down, but I mean, he's down, dude. He's fighting for you out there, right? So if you see your coach doing that for you when you're wrestling, it's like, yeah, dude, hell yeah. All right.
They care.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I care too.
Right. Brett, when you went to Clackamas as a recruit, were they like, were they obviously where they're at now, or was it like a kind of a building stage, or like where was Clackamas at when you got there compared to where they are now?
It was definitely building. So when I was doing my research, we just won a state championship my senior year at Clovis High. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be something that was part of like that, just building to win another championship. Because I mean, if you guys ever experienced that, I mean, it's just as good as winning an individual state title. So I did my research and, had those conversations with them. I believe they took 7th and 5th in the country. So they were a top 10 program when Coach Roden took over. Before that, they weren't. They were about to get freaking dropped, man. It was getting pretty bad, unfortunately. But I did my research, saw that they took 7th and 5th, had that 2-hour conversation with Roden on my recruiting call. And he was telling me, hey, you're the missing link. And we got Tyrell Fortune coming too. And Tyrell Fortune was ranked number 1 in the country at my weight class. I was ranked 17th in the country, and he was ranked number 1 as seniors at 215. So I was like, and he's like, that would be your workout partner. We're going to build it off of you two, and we're going to continue putting all these little extra pieces in. And, just seeing the energy and the way he sold it, dude, like I explained earlier, I was like, all right, let's go. So I had like recruiting trips lined up to other junior colleges out there. I freaking canceled on them after. Clackamas was my first one, man. It was my first one. I fell in love with the area, the community, the coaching staff, the teammates, and I was committed, dude, right there. I was ready to sign.
I feel like Clackamas has had like a lot of success with a lot of guys from California. Like just to name a couple, like Colt Doyle was a 2-time state champ from Poway. Mejia, he was a 4-time state champ from Clovis. I want to say I read somewhere that you were like the first California guy that Roden recruited.
Yeah, man. I always joke around. I tell this California kid, you're welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was the first one. And I remember, I All-American my freshman year, and I went to the state tournament with Coach Roden the following year. Or excuse me, our national championship was the week before California State during that time. Because California State was like the second week of March. I don't know if you guys remember that, right? Okay. But yeah, I All-American. We took 3rd in the country as a team, and I went to the state championship with him. And he was like, "Hey, you remember this guy?" And like just name dropping, right? And he's like, "Hey, he did it. He came through. He All-American, blah blah blah." And now he's got these schools talking to him, and that's all it took, man. And then the next kid, and then the next kid, and the next kid, and you start name dropping those guys, right? And it's just, I mean, yeah. We get a lot of California kids, Pennsylvania kids. I mean, that's kind of like our main guys that we kind of get after and have a good pipeline with.
That's an interesting mix, because I feel like stylistically Pennsylvania, I think it's just overall very well rounded and can wrestle through multiple positions, I think pretty deep. And then California, just, famous for, just a lot of outside attacks and maybe not the best mat wrestling unless you're maybe in the Central Valley. Yeah. But I mean, so talking about your team right now, is that primarily the makeup? You have a lot of California and Pennsylvania and probably some local guys too. Yeah.
So right now I'm low key striking on the PA kids a little bit. This whole transfer portal thing is really messing everybody up in the college recruiting game. But I do have a great connection with California still, especially with the Central Valley. We signed Reggie Reyes from Buchanan. He's in with us. David Ozuna from Clovis West, he's in with us. Still talking with a couple other Central Valley kids right now as well. And just signing, other big time kids. Like we got Braden Peace last year from Poway. And Josh Hannon, he's a California kid. He's from Arcata High School. He was a state medalist.
That kid a lot.
Yeah, he's a scrapper, man. Doc B medalist, Reno TOC medalist. So we are pretty heavily with California kids, and I always sell it to them too. Like, hey, California is awesome. I get it. But like, have that experience and get out of the state. You know, like for me, I knew growing up, like I was leaving California, not because I hated it, but it was like, I want to know what else is out there. I want to see different cultures. I want to see different lifestyles. Right. So I try to sell my experience and my thoughts, and I try to tell them, dude, like Oregon over here, this is a beautiful, beautiful state. It's God's country. And, you know, you're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to wish you're going to be an Oregonian when the time is done, you know? So we do get a lot of California kids. They love it over here. Everybody that comes through here loves Clackamas, loves Oregon City. I think a lot of them think of it home.
It's not awfully far either from California. Like
no,
hour and a half flight, dude.
Yeah, it's really not.
And you still have that relationship with Roden. I think Clackamas already, before Roden went over there, had a pretty good relationship with Oregon State in general.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's another selling point that you have being at Clackamas?
100%. You know, we got a good pipeline with them. I think a lot of it, like we did have a good relationship with Oregon State before Pendleton. I wouldn't say it was probably the best, but it was okay. But I think now since Pendleton got over there and Engel got over there, I think him and Roden definitely hit it off a lot last couple of years before, you know, they snagged Roden over there. And we kind of liked what they were saying a little bit more. You know, Zaleski's awesome. Kevin Roberts over there was well too, is awesome. But
okay, Rob.
Yeah, they're great guys, man. But I think now just there's so much buzz right now with Oregon State. Like everybody wants to kind of go there. They're building the dam. They got their little slogan, you know what I mean? And they got a great coaching staff. But it does help us out tremendously having Coach Roden over there, and you know, the other coaches over there are believers in Clackamas wrestlers too. You know, like they know our guys are going to come here. They're going to be developed. Their degree program that they follow over here fits perfectly in with Oregon State, and they get to watch them a lot too. You know, like we go to a lot of same tournaments, you know, maybe not against their number one guys a lot, but we wrestle their twos, we wrestle their red shirts. So they get to see our guys all the time. And that definitely does help out. And if someone's reaching out to Oregon State and maybe they may not have like the money to give them, you know, they point them to our direction, you know, like, hey, come over here to Clackamas, spend 2 years over there. You know, I think we could have something lined up for you when your time's done over there. So it's definitely a great relationship to have with those guys down there. And we're super fortunate about it.
Yeah, I bet. It's like an hour and a half drive.
Yep. And since they started the RTC over there as well, when we don't have days going on, our guys sometimes go over there and get to work out with those guys. So they get to roll around and build that relationship with those coaches. I mean, just this year, man, we had 2 guys signed to Oregon State. You know what I mean? Victor Jacinto, kid from Gilroy, took 3rd for us last year, signed with them earlier this year. And then Steel Starring, our 2-time nationalist finalist and a champion this year, he signed with Oregon State as well too. So they're on our guys, man. They are. So we got a good thing going setup. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, because as soon as you said I thought about that earlier, and then you already said it. So I was like, dude, that's great. Yeah. Now it's like you guys, your season. When does the JC season end? Is it March?
Yeah, it's first week of March.
Okay.
First week of March.
I still have the California State.
I know. It still throws me off too.
Yeah. So you guys have that, and then when it comes time for freestyle season, dude, go to the RTC practice. Go train with those guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we are trying to build something over here too as well. We have one of our coaches, Josh Reyes. He actually All-American this year at the U.S. Open. You know, and we got a great resource in our own building. You know, and he did that just wrestling our guys and wrestling club high school kids. You know, and All-American over at the U.S. Open. You know, so we're really trying to build something over here in the spring where we're trying to start our own like regional training center in the spring and let our guys wrestle over here. But like I said earlier, if there's something if we don't got anything going on one of those days, like which, you know, we usually train 3 days a week and have study hall the other couple of days. But if they're having something like on a Friday night or Saturday, our guys want to go down there and roll with them, they have that resource to do it. And it's not far of a drive at all. Yeah.
And Reyes, did he wrestled at Oregon State?
Yeah, he started off at Boise.
Yeah.
And then came here to Clackamas, and then Clackamas to Oregon State.
Yeah, I talked to him for a little bit at Arena Worlds. He seems like a good guy. and
Dude, he's awesome.
still pretty built too. So I'm sure he can
Yeah.
wrestle with the guys a lot. Not that you can't,
Right.
but
yeah, man, he wrestled at all the practices, all the opens that we went to, and he always forfeited against our guys if he ran into them, you know what I mean, and let those guys be able to move on to the next round. But yeah, he gives them the works in the practice room, though, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. Does he give up any takedowns?
I haven't seen it yet.
Seen?
Not in the practice room, and I haven't seen it since the US Open, giving up a takedown, honestly.
Yeah, Sean was bragging about that to me and my buddy that I coach with. He hasn't given up a takedown at all. I found that very impressive.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I just thinking like I just want to roll with you again, dog. Go back to your.
You know what it's like wrestling high schoolers, right?
I know.
And so,
but I want to go to your room and just square
can
off
do
and
it.
go.
We could do it.
Why don't you do a camp? Do a camp down at Grand Hills.
I've been saying this for months, dude.
And he has been in my ear. He's been chirping. And
if he doesn't want to, you can come. You can come to Bakersfield. We got lots of great talent here too.
I'm down, dude. I'm down to show some stuff. I'm down to talk about Clackamas wrestling over there because we've had some Bakersfield guys come over here too as well. We actually had one Frontier wrestler come over here as well too.
Don't say is it Azuna? Nah, he left, man. He left and went to be I wasn't coaching yet, but
that's Noah Azuna.
That's Noah.
I'm talking about Elijah Azuna.
Elijah. Okay.
Elijah Azuna. He was Frontier, followed out and finished out Frontier. He came here, became a national champion for us, and now he's doing MMA. But yeah, Noah Azuna, he did leave you guys. He went to that rival school.
I did some jiu-jitsu with him a little bit. He's a good guy, man. I think
cool.
I think it was just him and my buddy kind of butted heads a little bit, but that's fine. That happens sometimes.
Hey, isn't that supposed to happen every once in a while at a practice like that?
Yeah. That's okay.
I think if we're smart, Brett, you come down, you hit Bakersfield, visit the family, do a clinic, and then you come south and come do another clinic. Genius road trip.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. I was talking about a Simple Man Wrestling camp, and Sean was like, well, who are we? Like, who would we get?
True.
And it's like,
oh, come on, guys.
Okay. You could say whatever you want. Right. But okay. If we need to put some respect on our camp, maybe Brett Sanchez could do it pro bono and just come down and recruit. There you go.
We get the guys that we've interviewed to come be our counselors or our clinicians. So we get Brett, Road Dog,
dude, yeah,
Grant Leith. I like where we're headed now. That's a good camp.
There you go.
Sign me up.
I'm not sure all of them will do it for free though.
No, we got to pay them, but hey, we got deep pockets.
Dude, camps are hard, man.
For me, if you guys help me get down there, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about don't worry. Yeah, get me at someone's house, whatever, dude. Like, I'm not like, get me over there and pay me $1,000, $1,500 afterwards. Like, if you could get me over there and get me fed and let me sleep in a bed, dude, I'm cool.
Kind of sidetrack, but someone, I'm not going to name what wrestler this was, but former Penn State wrestler who wasn't all that great was trying to do camps down here in San Diego recently. And asking so much money.
What was the number?
It was a lot. I mean, it was
over 2,000.
I'd have to go back and look, but I just remember looking at it and being like, I don't even want to just give this any attention, just because it was such like, not that the person's not worth that money, but I was just like, that's just a lot of money to ask these kids to fork up for 3 hours, 4 hours of some technique and live. I mean, I get it when you're, a big name, right? And I mean, obviously there's tiers to it. There's levels to the game with how big your name is, but I feel like you got to know your worth and know where you're at. But hey, I mean, you can't hate a player for trying, right? You can't.
Yeah, man. He's trying to eat and trying to give back to the sport of wrestling.
Exactly. So I respect that aspect, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't ask my kids to pay that much either,
Right.
So.
Well, I feel like that's kind of what's kept me back from doing so I like camps because I think there's a lot of benefit to them if done the right way. I was a camp counselor at J-Rob, and that was like one of the best experiences ever. And yeah, it's expensive, but I think what you're getting, the whole thing isn't just set up to where it's, you're just wrestling hard and you're going live. but like you're going on runs, you're interacting with people all over the country. He does like relaxation seminars where Jay's raspy voice is like, relax. And he says that over and over again. He does like financial, like not counseling, but he does like another like seminar on like how to manage your finances. He gives them books to read. Like it's just this whole thing. And it's all engineered to like trying to like give you as much obviously wrestling skill, but everything else that you're going to need to be great, not just in wrestling, but in life. And I think just trying to kind of emulate that in a camp, like once I kind of, you know, did that, it's like, dude, like a technique camp is cool, but I mean, what are you really paying for? Like you can go and look at technique on social media or YouTube or whatever. Yeah. I mean, you're doing it because maybe you like that person that's showing technique, or maybe they did something great and you know, you want to be able to be close to them. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like, I wouldn't say shallow, but I just feel like a camp could be so much more than just that. If you're going to bring in that big name.
No doubt, dude. No doubt. I've been fortunate enough to work Mark Munoz's wrestling camp when I was in college. West Coast wrestler. Yeah. Dude, that, I mean, just like
we sent our guys this last summer and they loved it.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, they didn't love it because it was hard, but they like had a good time.
but when you leave, you're walking out with sticking your chest out a little more. You're like, yeah, dude, I did all that Navy SEAL workout and got some technique in. And
a lot of kids don't make it through that camp. And so that's how I met Josh, your recruit for Clack. He went and he met the Granite kids. And then we were out at Reno and they're like talking. I'm like, who's this kid? Like hanging out with my kids. And then they introduced him because he's like the only kid at his school.
That poor guy had no teammates where he was at.
Yeah, no teammates. He reminded me of myself.
No doubt.
And so I started talking to him and I was like, oh, this is a cool kid. And he can wrestle. My place in that Reno. And I was like, how did you guys meet? And they're like, oh, he was that West Coast wrestler. We were best buds. I'm like, oh, all right. This is cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's funny, but that's part of the camaraderie with the camp.
That's the experience. That's what you're paying for right there. You're paying for the technique. You're paying for the life lessons and that brotherhood that you won't ever, forget or miss.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the key ingredients, I think, for a good camp.
Yep.
I mean, it also depends on age and stuff like that. You guys have a camp coming up this fall, right? Or this summer? Is it? When is that?
June 19th through June 22nd, 4-day wrestling camp, be 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Got great clinicians that are coming in, that past Clack wrestlers that came through here, moved on to the next level, had great careers. And man, I'm super juiced about it. We haven't been able to do it since since 2018, I want to say, maybe 2017. Obviously got held up with gym renovations over here at Clackamas, and then the whole COVID thing freaking ruined everything. And, this is our first time having it back, and I'm super excited about it, man. It's blowing up pretty good right now, and should be good. Got good names coming in.
Yeah, I think one of the things I kind of snooped a little bit on your social media, like you guys seem like you give off this vibe. I don't know the details, but it seems like you guys really care about the community and trying to build just local Oregon wrestling.
Big time.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is a community college, so that we throw that word community in, and we really do open up our wrestling room to all the high school athletes around, the junior high athletes. We let them come practice with us, pick our brains, summertime, and we try to keep them engaged with our wrestling program. We really do, and we let them know, like, hey, we want you to go to the Division I level. We want you to have that experience, but no, you have something great right here. So we build those relationships with those little guys, when they're 13, 14, 15 years old. And a lot of them, they're just like, hey, I always got Clackamas. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want to try to go to Oregon State. Yeah, this, but I got something great right here in my backyard, and I think we're really fortunate enough, that we have that. And I think it's like the legwork that like Coach Rode in the past, has given. And then, me, I'm the same way, you know what I mean? So I'm down to help out any kid that wants it, and we're always going to open our doors for those type of athletes. Regardless of your skill level, we're going to treat you the same and give you the amount of respect and let you feel heard too, So you always know, man, like one conversation with just a college wrestling coach or a club coach or high school coach could change someone's life. And that's something that we do strive for. And we got a good little thing going on over here, and we have a great supporting cast over here with the community just because of that. Like our duels are, lights out. When we have fundraising events, everybody wants to come and support just because what we've done for their child. And it's a really good thing that we have here.
And then you mentioned renovations too. This wrestling room, is this new?
Yeah, man. So that was done in 2018. Man, dude, that's a beautiful wrestling room.
What was the room like before?
Like a closet, little dungeon area, like hidden, and it was like brick walls, and the heater didn't work that well. And then we had to put like a bag of ice on the thermostat to kind of like help it engage, develop more heat. And now with the renovation, they went up to upstairs it's called Randall Hall, where the gym is, the weight room, everything like that. So they went upstairs and took out like 2 classrooms, and they made it to a big wrestling room. And it's pretty awesome. Where you're sitting right now, Bryan, like there's a big window and my office is right there. So I everything right there I see exactly like that from my office window. So it's awesome.
Did you take this picture?
I might be, maybe.
Good job.
And where'd you find it at?
Just quick Google search.
Google.
Yeah. We do that, and we like to send it out. We put it on our social media, or some guys want to see our wrestling room before they come out and visit, or they don't want to visit, so they see it and they're like, okay, they got something.
I mean, here's the thing. I think with rooms, I think it's nice when you have like a big, super fancy room, and but you guys have everything you need to be great. Like you have a couple of aerodynes, and you have wrestling mats, and you have space to wrestle.
Yep.
Like I think sometimes kids kind of get over, like they start looking at all these external things, which are great and they're awesome if you have them, but like that's not really what's going to help you get to the next level and really grow.
Right.
And I almost think like, I mean, our wrestling room at our high school is like a mat, maybe like a runner on either side, and that's it. So when you get like 30 kids in there, just freaking scrapping and sweating when it gets hot, it's like you kind of have a chip on your shoulder a little bit.
Big time.
Do you feel like you had that when you first got there?
100%. Coming from my high school, at Clovis High, we had a good wrestling room, and then coming to the Clackamas wrestling room, it was same thing, about 45 guys coming out for the team, and guys are running into each other, getting hurt, running into the wall. Matt is just a water puddle because it's just so sweaty in there, and so hot. I believe it did create an edge. And when we would go and travel to the other places for duels and got to see their wrestling room, you see, man, they got all this, they got all that, and when we got to give them the works a little bit, man, it felt good, knowing that 1, we don't have a wrestling room. 2, you hate our head coach because you think he's a D-bag. 3, you know what I mean? We gave you the works, and now we're going back home to our old wrestling room, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing, So I do believe it creates a little edge and a little chip. I still think we have that in this wrestling room. We still been pretty successful since we got this. We've been actually more successful since we got this wrestling room, honestly. But there was a little while where they were getting runner-up for a little bit, and then as soon as we got this wrestling room, we broke the national scoring record that year. So, yeah, it's been pretty good. Good blessing.
How's the team looking like this upcoming year?
Man, so much better. It was rough for us this year. I got hired, really late. I moved back to California last year, was coaching at a head high school at Pioneer Valley down in Santa Maria, California. And I got hired late June. So didn't get to recruit like we wanted to. And Coach Roden, when he took the Oregon State job, he started busting his butt, went over there mid-March and started, working for them. And unfortunately, nobody was watching my guys over here in the springtime. We do have assistant coaches, but at the same time, they have full-time gigs too. You know what I mean? So they were working, doing their thing, and nobody was watching these guys. So it was a bunch of little young men with their parents gone out of town for a good while. So a lot of my guys.
Bryan and I experienced that. We had a head coaching transition in college together, and we kind of just would. We still did practice, but it was just we orchestrated.
You went to practice, and that was about it. The same thing with my guys. They went in the wrestling room, rolled around, and then they didn't go to class. So I got
I
hired.
went to class.
Yeah.
I don't know about Sean.
So yeah, I got hired and tried to recruit, did pretty well with recruiting. And then when I got the job, the AD is like, hey, welcome back. But this guy is ineligible. And it's like, gosh, so we didn't get to fill a team like we wanted to. We threw some guys out there this year that weren't ready, but they had to get ready. They were planning on probably coming in and redshirting, but it's like, nah, man, plans are changed, dude. You got to get in there and start going. So it was a little rough for us with that a little bit, but I'm super proud of what we still accomplished. We still won regionals. We beat North Idaho, who gave us the sauce, both our duels. And we, every single duel this year, we gave up 2 weight classes, minimum 2 weight classes. So that was like new and different, seeing from Clackamas, like not having a full lineup for each duel. Are you freaking kidding me at the college level? Yeah. So a lot of challenges, a lot of things that we had to keep our upperclassmen just like, hey guys, like things are going to be a little different this year, things that you're not used to. Just stay patient, keep working hard, and try to keep motivating these young cats, and I'll do my job too, trying to do the same thing. So we took regionals, we won that for the 10th year in a row and went to nationals, and we felt like we could have been top 5 still. We came back with 3 All-Americans, national champion at 165 pounds, a 7th place at 174 pounds, and a 3rd place at 197s. And we had 3 guys losing the blood rounds, and we had one of the guys that was like a high seed, kind of broke his ankle second match in the championship round. So I think if we really had those 4 guys do what their job and come through, punch their ticket in, and come home with like 7 All-Americans, I think we could have been, 3rd or 4th, 2nd, around there. But it is what it is. We learned a lot. I learned a lot being a year 1 head coach, and being able to recruit for a whole year has been a game changer for us.
That's gotta be like the biggest thing.
Big time, dude. So going to Reno, going to Doc B, going to state tournaments, going to Virginia Beach, and just like it's huge. It's night and day. So we've been signing, get a lot of good guys to come over here and be a part of what we're doing, and a lot of guys that got a good work experience this year that wasn't ready, they're coming back next year, and they've been busting their butts right now all spring. And yeah, man, we're excited about next year, and we think that we could be competitive and be in the mix and bring Clackamas wrestling back.
Get your natty title back.
At least be in the mix, man. At least be in the mix.
When's the plan for most of your kids that are incoming to report back, and when do you guys really kick practice into gear with preseason, and then obviously season starts?
So we open up to the guys. We have some guys staying for the summertime. So some guys will stay for the summer, get a summer job, work out with us all summer. And we also have some incoming freshmen that are down. They're like, hey, I want to go there right now. I'm ready to go. So we'll have a couple guys coming in earlier, like here in about another week or 2, and start training with us, get going on that. But we have our guys report in the month of August. I don't care when in August. Selfishly, I would like you there, first week of August. So you can start training with us and get going before we start preseason. So we start preseason right after Labor Day in September. And, they just got to be there in the month of August, and we'll start going. Like I said, the day after Labor Day, and we go hard that whole month of September. Just a lot of conditioning, a lot of lifting, not so much wrestling. We'll go in the restroom here and there, do some hand fight type stuff, work on bottom position, and a lot of stance and motion. So we'll do that for the whole month. We'll give them the week off after September ends, let their body kind of get adjusted, get a little break from us mentally. And then after that 2nd week in October, we start kicking it off and get going and get ready for the season.
I like it. Bryan and I reported early for college together, but I think Bryan made it like a week, or how many weeks before me did you get up there, and you were living on a couch, and I think Bryan was pretty happy when I showed up.
Dude, those 2 weeks like sucked, because here's the thing. So, we're a family friendly show. But I'll just say this. So I came in, I think 2 weeks before Sean did. And I was excited for Sean to come. I was like, dude, like, because Everett Pratt, I don't know if you know Everett.
Yeah, dude.
Everett knows everybody. Yeah.
He's that guy.
So he was my first friend in Bakersfield, and him and Sean were friends before that. But I was at the house with all the older guys. So it was like me, Everett, Sean wasn't there yet. There was a girl named Cha-Cha who played water polo, and was using the room for the summer because another San Diego guy wasn't there, Mike Herrera. And I don't know if you know Mike. You know Mike
That's
Herrera?
super familiar.
Yeah.
You've seen him.
And
Okay.
I'm not going to say the other names, but because you know, I was there with the older guys, and two of those guys had just one guy had just finished, and one had finished 2 years before that. So really, it's like I'm just the young 18-year-old
Just the
kid,
baby.
and I'm there with like everyone's like 21 and older.
Yeah.
And one guy just finished, so he's got like DJ turntables, and he's spinning those things till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm on the couch. So there is like no time really for me to sleep. I think, like they talk about the freshman 15. I think I lost 15 pounds. I was sweating like crazy. They had some people over at the house, and they broke the window right by where the couch was at. So like no AC is staying in there. And I was freaking miserable, dude. But finally, when the light, the jewel that is Sean O'Rourke arrived, I was like, all right, yeah, we're good. Now I don't have somebody I can.
Someone else had to go through hell with you. Huh?
Yeah, misery loves company.
We would suffer together.
Yeah.
Hey, Bryan, I got to ask, was it a leather couch?
Yeah, I think it was.
Dude, it was
it was a leather.
That makes it even worse.
If it was leather, though,
I had a sheet. I had a sheet that laid down.
God.
It was
but again,
so
you're
crusty.
sweating so much, like it just goes right through.
Oh, man.
I still
couch,
remember my parents. Brett knows my parents well. He knows my parents are like no BS type of parents. And when they're dropping me off, like they open this cabinet and they saw some things they didn't want to see, and my mom just closes it and walks out the door. She's like, "You're on your own. I don't care anymore." I'm doing it.
Oh, Lisa, huh?
Yeah.
You know Lisa?
Terry and Lisa, right?
Yeah. Dude, Bryan, you don't realize, like when Brett and I would go to tournaments my senior year, it would be like the four of us in a car, my mom and dad and me and Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Brett and I would sit in the back seat and just talk about wrestling. And I'd be like, sweats on, usually cutting weight. And then we'd get to wherever we're going. We'd warm up together. He'd put some jeans and a polo on, and I'd go out there and wrestle. Like, that's just what it was.
and they fed me, and I loved it.
Yeah. Vegas, Doc, didn't matter. Like, that's what we've done. Virginia Beach, we flew, but I think that was the only time we flew.
Yeah.
Fun.
So when you took over the team, you said Sean was like pretty much the only one. Everyone else was like pretty much brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So really, all these big varsity tournaments, it's literally just you guys and like Sean's parents. And that's it.
No doubt. Yeah. So we went to all the local ones. Even with like the local ones, they weren't that too competitive because we're trying to get matches for everybody. So Sean would go there, walk through the tournament, and then still everybody else on the team would get put out day one, even though it wasn't the best tournament. And then him and I, we searched out for those big ones. We went to the LCC, went to Doc B, we went to Battle by the Belt too, in Temecula. So like it was just him and his family and myself going to those tournaments. So we're able to like I said, my first love, dude. Like so. They got to know everything about me. I got to know everything about them. I got to stay the night at his house a couple of times too and watch film, break things down. Like, it was.
You guys got close then.
Yeah, we were doing it all.
Yeah, dude, we did it all, bro. We did it all. And I wasn't the head coach there yet. I got the head coaching job after year 3. So there was this guy, Coach U. We call him Scott, but he goes by Coach U. He was the head coach, but with him, dude, he said, just do it. Let me handle the administration. Let me handle scheduling. Let me handle all that stuff. He's like, your practice plan, your tournaments, what you want to do, we'll do it. And dude, it's 23, Bryan, and he gave me the reins of just go, take off, do it, start your wrestling club here, do whatever you want. And I'll do all the dumb stuff that you don't want to do. So, yeah, man.
Scott's a wise guy. He's smart. He's not, he's been around the sport for a while, and he just knew Brett could take the program structurally to the next level while, obviously he still wanted to be involved in all that, but he knew letting Brett run practice and letting Brett, choose what tournaments we were going to and running the kids club, starting a kids club, because there wasn't a kids club before
Yeah.
Brett, all that stuff. He just knew that that's where the program was going to see the most success, and it shined. I think by the end of, I was in college with Bryan, but by the end of your time at Mater Dei, you guys were like a top 5 team in San Diego.
Mhm.
I don't know what you guys finished.
You had some good individuals too, I think, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And
Mateo,
that was like the unfortunate thing, man. We're a private school, so it was super expensive to get over there. So I was like trying to finagle that too.
you guys don't give out scholarships?
We
play
can't.
basketball or football, yeah.
Yeah, I really can't say that. Like it's
Well,
if you get donations, if you get
academic need or
if you get
financial need.
donations and that donor says this is what I want my scholarship go towards, someone who has this GPA, someone who's playing this sport, blah blah blah, right? So it's kind of the more logistically way you got to say it. But we had a few guys that transferred to our program, guys that I was training year round, and guys that believed what we're about. This is a program that had no history really, but they really believed in the coaching staff and our vision. So we had some people come on a leap of faith, and we started building something a little bit over there, man. It was cool. And instead of taking just one guy to the Doc B to the battle for the belts, we started taking like 5-6 guys over there, and it was starting to come together a little bit, man. And I really thought that was going to be the place for me. Like I told these guys day one when I got the coaching job over there at Mater Dei, I'm trying to take over Clovis High. They were the top dogs during that time. I was like, I'm trying to take out those type of schools, so.
And I'm standing there like, this guy doesn't know what he's getting.
He did. But I didn't care. I was like, just wait. I'm down to put the work in, and it took a little time.
I had all the respect, and I was like, I'm bought in 100%.
Yeah.
Whether the guys behind me aren't, that's up to them. But
it sucked, Bryan. It is suck, but like during the off season and like in the spring, summer, fall, like I had so many different kids from so many different high schools coming in to train with us, and I probably had like just one, maybe 2 Mater Dei kids coming because they were going on their summer trips and they were going here and there, and I think I had like probably like 18, 20 different high school kids from different high schools coming and training with us all spring, all summer.
This your club it's UTB has Unleashed the Beast, right?
Yeah.
Is that still operating in San Diego?
It really isn't. So that kind of, so I left, and then our guy, Coach Justin, my best friend, I wrestled over here with him at Clackamas, Grand Canyon together. And then I started UTB down there like the first 2 years. And I was like, it was starting to grow. It was starting to grow tremendously.
And it was huge. It was like people knew UTB across the state.
Yeah,
there
man.
Other states that knew, like I felt like UTB was like, everyone saw UTB and they were like, oh, that's legit. Like that's a legit.
You knew you were going to wrestle somebody pretty decent. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was growing. So I brought Coach Justin in there. And at that time, it was just like a nonprofit. And then I turned it into an LLC and started, taking off with that. It's growing. I had my boy, Coach Justin, over there. We had a great board and things were going really well. And I got the coaching job, went to a different place. And then Coach Justin was going to take over it and keep the thing going. And he did a good job. He was still at Mater Dei, still running the thing at UTB. And this guy comes out, and I'm pointing to this guy, Sean, and he starts working over at Granite. And his vision, his site is big, and him and Justin, communicated, and they pretty much merged UTB and Granite Hills Wrestling Club together pretty much. So a good chunk of UTB kids went over there. And what's that?
Yeah, we had Outlaws.
Outlaws. That's right.
And then, Justin was having issues with administration at Mater Dei, kind of with the whole accepting and getting in. It's an expensive school. I think kids are paying like 12 to 15 grand to go there a year. Honestly, I think my mom, and I owe her the world, paid more for me to go to high school than I paid on myself to go to college, like straight up. And I mean, she knows I'm forever in debt to her, but that's just crazy to think of, after having a college degree, that your parents spent more on you in high school than you did on your college degree. But with him having issues with admin and all that stuff, and just dealing with private schools and whatnot, it's difficult, right? It's difficult. And so, you know, we had a good thing going at Granite. I think I was there for like 2 years already. We had a decent club going, and then he had UTB, which was obviously a very well-known club. And I said, we just built this, you know, super nice facility, 3 mats long with a weight room connected, and it's in a great area in San Diego. I was like, let's make it work. And so he merged out, we made the move, and we've been lights out since, you know.
Yeah, you guys, it's so fun to watch, honestly, Bryan. It's awesome to watch these guys.
This next season is going to be dynamite, and I don't think people are ready. I mean,
you have a lot of returners coming back, right?
Yeah.
Who do you have coming in?
I got a couple freshmen that are really real good. We have a female, I'm not going to say names, but we have a female wrestler who, I don't want to say prediction wise, but stud, super stud. I mean, she's wrestling juniors and cadets, and she's either winning or in the finals. I mean, she's winning all the cadet tournaments right now for freestyle Greco. She's doubling up doing juniors, and she's in the finals of almost everyone, even the regionals. And we got a couple boys that are real tough too that are coming in. Really excited about our like 6th and 7th graders. Those are I think our real big hammers right now. But we're just grinding, you know, we're working every day. Justin works so freaking hard. That guy,
he gets after it, dude. I see him all over the place.
Yeah, he gets it. I mean, he eats, sleeps, and breathes wrestling.
He's got the coach's voice now, dude.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he sounds like he's been smoking for 20 years.
Yeah, man, it's so raspy from just yelling so much.
But he's taken the program, especially the club, to new levels and new heights. And we've got 15 kids qualified for Fargo right now. I think 12 of those kids from the club are actual Granite Hills kids. And we still got a couple more. I got a couple guys going out to Kansas in like a week or two to try and qualify as well. You know, like get their names in the hat. Like,
is that like Southwest Plains or something like that?
I don't remember the exact name, but it's like one of the last
guys wanted that.
Yeah, well, last chance qualifier. So we're just trying to push as many kids to Fargo as possible. After Fargo, we'll transition back to freestyle, try and get as many guys to go to Super 32 as possible. I should be flying out for that this year. And it's just, I mean, it's exciting stuff. I think we're gonna have a real tough team. We took 9th in the state last year or 8th, and I think we can up that number. So it's gonna be fun.
Can't wait, brother.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. And Bryan's team's looking solid too. So it's gonna be good.
Should be exciting years for both of us.
I don't think you have anything on us, Sean, in the next couple of years, but I mean, you have 3 mats in an attached weight room, so good for you.
No, you're right. Yeah, hey, I will be the first person, Bryan. I will be the first person to sign the petition for a new wrestling room at Frontier High School. I will digitally, I'll freaking e-doc it or whatever, and I'll send
a memo.
Okay,
write a check.
How much?
Dude, I'm in too, brother. I'm in too. We got a junior high little team over here trying to get a new wrestling room over here, and they're doing like a silent auction, live auction, and they reached out to a bunch of like college programs over here to like donate just some gear, some swag, so it could help like some people like auction for things a little bit. So I mean, if anybody wants some Clack swag, dude, let me know, dude, or anything I could do to help out. The petition, share it, whatever.
I'll take some Clack swag.
I got you, dude. I got both you guys.
You guys got a website where we can order some merch on?
Not yet. I've been talking with Rudis, and we're gonna open up a store here pretty soon. And get that going.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. I got
you. Do you like working with Rudis? Because you guys have singlets already, right? With them?
Yeah, I do. So we're one of the sponsor teams. We've been there with them since 2020, and man, I really like the way they treat us. I really like their material. I like the product. And our guys love it too. And honestly, man, it's like one of the recruiting draws that gets a lot of these kids, man. They wanted like, man, I've been seeing you guys stuff on Instagram, like, let me see that drip, and we let them see it. We let them put them on. We do like a little photo shoot over here now. So they're wearing our singlets, they're wearing our gear. And, when they leave on the recruiting trip, they have those images and they look at it and like, I want to go there. I want to go to Clack.
That's awesome.
I like Rudis. specifically because it's a wrestling brand, right? But you know, I ordered sweats from them like a year ago, wrestling sweats. I ended up putting a hole in it, and I sent them a picture and the receipt, and they sent me a new sweats like almost immediately. I was like, oh, that's like no, you know, no haggle, no nothing. Like they just were super good customer
You already
service.
had a story already to kind of give
Well,
them.
it was like legit. Like they were only like a
Right,
month
right.
old, and I like ripped the knee, and I was like, come on. And so I sent them back, and they sent me a new pair. And then I bought I bought my first pair of Rudis shoes. Let me see if I got them right here actually.
Hey, yeah. Hey, plug your shoe Instagram while you're doing it. Is it
Funky all day.
funky all day? Funky all
Funky
day?
all day.
Funky all the
Brett,
time?
if
Go
you
funk yourself?
need some shoes, big dog.
Are you still doing that thing?
Dude, we got so many shoes. Brady Beeman is the shoe king, and I'm his shoe queen. Okay, I'm like,
All right.
Brett, what's your shoe size, Brett?
I'm a 12.
I just
Dude,
picked the boys
those
up. I
are
like them.
clean, bro.
I like them. I haven't broke them in yet. I think I'm waiting. I don't know.
I have those in white. No,
I
actually.
like looking at them.
I got like an awkward shoe size, and I think I'm a 13 in Rudis, but I don't want to spend like 100 and something bucks plus and get a pair of Rudis and then have it not fit.
Yeah, that is tough. But
they don't make 12 and a half, man. If they made 12 and a half, I'd be down. But
hey, let me know, man. When we do our stuff, they give us a good discount. Like I think like 70 bucks a shoe. So
oh heck yeah.
I'll get you in on that in the fall.
Hey, speaking of doing like the photo shoot with the recruits, I feel like that's like real popular right now. We didn't do that. Obviously, none of us did that, I don't think, when we were going through. But Abram Klein, one of my 106 pounder, he just committed to Maryland.
I saw that
back, and he's got pictures of him, Maryland singlet, and they got like a big belt with an M on it, and like it's like a WWE belt, and that's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Brett, what kind of like innovative ways can you make these guys on these recruiting trips just have a good time? I mean, obviously send them with the guys and let them go and experience, you know, what the guys are experiencing, but at the same time, like doing photo shoots like that, what else do you guys add to the mix?
So yeah, the photo shoots has been a game changer for us. We just started that this year, honestly. Just kind of seeing what's out there on Instagram, seeing some of those schools doing it. It's like, hey, man, that'd be kind of cool, you know. So we do that, and then we kind of show them just like the best parts of like Oregon City too. Like we'll go to Top Golf, we'll go to the driving range, we'll go to some hikes. You know, just anything that Oregon can deliver, right? Like things that we love, you know, tremendously over here. We let them kind of experience that over here too, you know, just kind of let them know like, hey, you know, we know during the season it's going to be a grind, you know, just school practice. You have opportunities to come do this out here in Oregon City or Oregon, you know. So we try to give them that full experience. We let them meet the people that work with us too, the academic coach, the athletic academic advisor, the AD, so they kind of get the feel of just like, dude, this is like a tight family atmosphere over here. Like the athletic academic advisor and the athletic director, they're husband and wife, and they've been here for 25 plus years, right? You got myself and my wife, we're in it too. So it's like they know that they're going in a situation where they're going to get loved. They're going to be taken care of by regardless who, our staff or just the administration around them. So we definitely make that a big deal of like having to meet them and then see all the other cool things outside the college that Oregon provides as well too. So, and I think our guys just do a really good job too, like you said, you know, hanging out with the guys over there. So I always try to make them go with people that I think they would gel with pretty well with, and you know, they have a good time. And a lot of times, man, when we have our meeting in the following morning after they had their whole day with me, dinner, hang out with the guys, you know, there's times where those guys come in the next morning like, hey, where's that letter of intent? I'm ready. You know, like just because of just the experience that they had in 24 hours.
Well, it seems like you're selling a family.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah,
it's a family environment. And I think when you think about maybe these kids that maybe need more support, you know, like, you know, it just seems like Clackamas is a really good fit, you know, for that kind of kid that needs that support big time.
Big time, dude. You got to check it out, right? Like you have your family back at home. You got all the support, all the love that you've always had, right? You always had, you know, your mom, dad, or whoever's taking care of you, making you feel important and heard and supporting you too, right? Like it is a grind what we go through as student athletes in this sport. It is, so you got to have that love. You got to have that support. You got to feel that family vibe, constantly. So when I tell these guys, like, hey, when you go on these recruiting trips, you know what you want, you know what you need, right? So like over here, you're getting this, right? So you're going to have exactly that same feel that you have back at home over here, so you got to go somewhere where it feels like home. It feels like, hey, I could be successful here. And you got to let your heart speak and not just like let the money, the dollar signs and the accolades, all that's good and gravy, right? But you got to let your heart speak. And when guys come over here, they feel in their heart like, hey, I could be successful. This feels like home. The family environment's there. Let's do this. Let's ride with it. So they're ready to be in part of the Clack biz, man, right there.
Let's go. Brett, man, we've been going for a little bit over an hour. Sean, I don't know if you have anything else. Brett's he's a family guy, dude. We gotta give him his time too. It's like 9:30.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I told my
real.
wife.
It's been awesome. Obviously would love to have you back on. Maybe we get you and Road Dogg on together in the future. I think that'd be instant fireworks.
Dude. But him and I are like two peas in a pod, dude. We'll both just go. We probably want to let you guys talk.
Maybe, we gotta talk business. We gotta talk business after we get off. So don't go anywhere.
All right, we'll do.
I have a couple of business ideas.
Yeah, but until next time, let's make it happen. I hope Clack has an awesome season this year. Get back to being number one in the nation and keep kicking butt.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Bryan, Sean, appreciate you guys having me on. Super excited about this, and I love talking about Clackamas wrestling and talking with individuals who love the sport too. So I'm cheering you guys on as well. Sean, do your thing. Bryan, keep doing your thing over at Frontier. And if you guys got some dudes, they got that family vibe environment over here at Clackamas, and I'll take care of them.
Mm-hmm. Sure, man. All right, Brett. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good night.